smooth recovery. Unless you're growing pustules under your tongue, which I haven't gained the privilege of seeing yet. Well, are you? Fascinating. At some point, you must further elucidate the sensation of being composed of so many small bits of metal. I need to analyze all the intriguing test results you gave me while you were unconscious. I suggest you introduce yourself to Jay. She can get you all dressed up for the outside world if you'd like to pass as a boring human. When you're done looking around inside, you can take the elevator up to the surface. Elevator's just around the corner.
You're a miracle. First time I'm seeing a freshly minted ghoul. Except myself, but that was more of a gradual process. You must be feeling brand new. You're gonna fit right in with us. No more infected wounds, no more worrying about radiation. You're free now, unstoppable, and you're going to carry our cause. The dream of the ghouls. See, people will try to beat us down because we have what they don't, and they're afraid of that. So we answer by living our lives to the fullest, grasping everything we ever wanted in life, no matter who wants to keep us from it. Holding on tight, protecting each other, and lifting up ghoul kind. Doesn't matter who you were before. You're one of us now. And we're gonna count on you, just as you can count on us. That's everyone's job, not just mine. I'm Maddox, one of the founding members, along with Asher. And Elmira, but that's a story for another day. Once you feel up to it, please make yourself at home. You have full access to our facilities from now on. I'm sure the others are eager to meet you. Just let me know if you need anything at all. Whatever it is, I'm here for you. I don't remember what it was like.
Ain't it just great to be here? Well, look at you. All ghouled up. And here I thought I was the crazy one. How's it treating you? You said it. Let's make the most of these newfangled lives. Well, there's a lot to take in around here, so I won't keep you too long. But truth be told, I'm relieved to not be the only newcomer in this intimidating group. Come by again, yeah? They'll never understand.
What do you want with me? Fine.
All right, then.
Fine.
What do you expect me to say? That I'm jumping over rainbows on a... I'm fine. Next question. Now that you're a ghoul, I'll protect you with my life just like I will all the others. Still think it was damn stupid of you to choose this. But maybe one day you'll see why I warned you against it. Then you'll be happy I'm here. Security. I watch the perimeter and make sure everyone gets combat training. Even the ones who are damn near hopeless as fighters. Long as they try, they'll get there. Humanity has two sides, you know? Especially before the war. You only ever see one side of most. The one that wants to be your friend. And there's the other side. The one that doesn't care much about being a friend. The one that strives to protect itself and what it holds dear. If you're smart, you'll listen to that side when it speaks up. Most people do. It's what we're doing here, and what they'll always do to us. Neither any better than the other, just different. Humans against ghouls, humans against other humans, even ghouls against ghouls. We're all the same in our mistrust of one another. Some here believe in a world where ghouls and humans can overcome our differences. That type of thing has happened before, but the first people to do it take a big risk. I'm not willing to take that risk. Some view that as selfishness. So here I am, between other ghouls who think I'm closed-minded and humans who think I'm a monster. You just can't win. All I want is to be acknowledged with dignity. From somewhere. That's all any of us want. For what we're doing to be appreciated. For our deficiencies to be forgiven. If you can even call them that. Humanity has two sides, you know? And there's the others. If yours, it's what would... Yeah, well, some don't see it that way. Some here believe in a world where ghouls and humans can overcome our differences. That type of thing has happened before, but the first people to do it take a big risk. I'm not willing to take that risk. Some view that as selfishness. So here I am, between other ghouls who think I'm closed-minded and humans who think I'm a monster. You just can't win. All I want is to be acknowledged with dignity. That's all any of us want. For what we're doing to be appreciated. Human. And if you're smart, it's what would... Sometimes they do. Other times, they save our lives, and you never know which it's gonna be. Some here believe in a world where ghouls and humans can overcome our differences. That type of thing has happened before, but the first people to do it take a big risk. I'm not willing to take that risk. Some view that as selfishness. So here I am, between other ghouls who think I'm closed-minded and humans who think I'm a monster. You just can't win. All I want is to be acknowledged with... That's all any of us want. For what we're doing to be appreciated. For our deficiencies to be forgiven. All right.
Hey, stranger. Ain't seen you around here before. Name's Debbie. Folks call me regular Debbie. Just roll with it. Came out of the pit. And now I'm here fixing up the place for the crew. Got all kinds of things breaking after being all but abandoned for 2 decades. And fortifications to build. But I don't mind taking a break to chat. Nice to meet you, too. You got good manners. Most of these ghouls got a mountain-sized chip on their shoulders. It ain't all sunshine and roses, but, go ahead.
I don't remember what it was like anymore.
Tell me about yourself. What is this, a job interview? Blind date? I know old Deb's a catch, but buy me dinner first. Not a lot to tell, really. Born and raised in Pittsburgh before the bombs. Worked in the plants. You know, got this extra strength tan when they blew the city to bits. And hey, I've kept my good looks ever since. This city got blown all to hell, that's what happened. What do you think happens when it gets nuked repeatedly? Relax. I know what you meant.
One day
Me? I was in the factory when it happened. One of the lower levels. Actually below ground. Only reason I wasn't instantly toast, probably. But, radiation doesn't care. Wasn't deep enough. Too close to the blast itself. I don't know. Should have died, and fast. But I didn't. Didn't know why. Didn't care. And I wasn't gonna wait to die of thirst or whatever. By the time I dug free of the rubble, I was already starting to change into the beaut you see before you. Lucky me, right?
Maddox says this is home. But how long until it's taken from us?
It was bad. A lot of the city was just gone. Rubble. Blowing all over the damn place by the blasts. The rest was mostly on fire. Not a lot of survivors. It's not above ground anyway. A lot of those were sick. Dying. Puking up their own guts. Falling apart. Worse. I got by. Found places to shelter.
Mistakes before they
Scavenged for supplies in the wreckage, like most of the survivors. Got in some fights. Lots of people who could left. The rest of us who stayed started to rebuild. Some of the factories were still standing, so we got them running. Seems stupid, maybe, but it gave us something to do. We could make things, trade with other survivors. It's what we knew. When you go through that, afterwards, something that felt normal and gave living structure, you cling to that. This ain't something I normally talk about. I say what I think, and I'll take on anyone that's got a problem with that.
can't wait for the smooth
But,
sounds to come.
being unafraid like that isn't the same as being... hell. I ain't got the words for it. Yeah. I had family. Friends, too. I didn't mention it right away, but the first thing I did when I got free was go looking for them, hoping they'd survived. Somehow. I had. Why couldn't they? Stupid. My folks. Their whole block was ash. My sister's place was one blackened wall, and... what was left? It wasn't her anymore. The bombs took everything. Everyone I cared about. My home. Even my friggin' skin. This is all that's left. I stayed a long time in Pittsburgh. Clinging on to home. Or at least, the idea of it. Truth was that Pittsburgh became the pit. It wasn't home no more. Much as I tried to believe it was. Home was gone. Once I finally came to terms with that, it was time to leave. Don't know where to. Even now, I was on the road, and God knows where, when this gang of ghouls visited me in the night. I was shocked to see so many ghouls outside the pit. Less shocked when they started explaining things. How they were hunted, then hunted again. Said they was going somewhere to set up permanently. And they needed all the help they could get. Didn't seem like too bad a gig. Helping out in exchange for food and shelter. Maddox is under some kind of spell, thinking I'm gonna join up permanently. This kind of life ain't for me. I'll happily risk my hide in exchange for freedom.
Running out of supplies again.
Yeah.
Have to ration.
Alright, fine. So, I was working this job, and there was another Debbie, and she wasn't a ghoul. Some of the guys started calling me Ghoul Debbie. You know, so they knew which one they were talking about. So I had a little chat with them. The boots and fist kind of chat. You know the type. Told them with all the rads around. Pretty soon there'd be more of us ghouls than them. After that, folks started calling me Regular Debbie. I thought it was pretty funny. So I let them. It stuck. What? You don't have enough experience of your own yet? Yeah, sure. But I can't promise any words of wisdom if there's something you're struggling with. Like you wouldn't believe. Not all of them as good looking or as fun to talk to as me, of course. But yeah, we got a mess. Mostly the crazy cannibal type. You know the ones. But a lot like me too. Odds of a person turning ghoul are pretty bad. But you nuke a city that hard, you're gonna end up with a bunch.
I don't remember what it was like anymore. Being human.
How do you think? Everyone's scared of us. Even if we talk and act just like we used to. Some tolerate us better than others. But mostly, they think we're gonna go feral eventually. Fanatics talked a big game. Said they were different. Liars. Ghouls that go to them end up basically slaves. Or dead.
I'll never go back. Never.
Hard? Yeah, you could say that. Nobody's had it easy. But smooth skins ain't gotta deal with looking like this. I make myself useful. I kick the ass of anybody who gives me too much grief. I get by all right. Just get reminded. Every day. Even if you don't look at yourself. Your best pals look at you sometimes, and you can see them, wondering. Is today the day your brain shuts off and you eat my face? Around here, you don't have to deal with that. But out there, it never goes away.
This is all I have left.
Maybe I'll have a different answer, too.
No.
See you around.
Hello there. You, here to see the garden? Or, well, I hope you're not here to bully me. Well, no. Not anymore. Not around here. I guess I'm still getting used to that.
Want to believe.
Anyway, I'm Ernie. I might seem like an odd one among all these tough fighters. More of a lover, myself. It's symbiotic. We've got everything here. Flowers, fungi, fruits, and veggies. But only the most resilient plants survive here with the radiation. The ones that are able to evolve. Yep, it's, truly amazing. When I started bringing plants in here, I half expected all of them to die. And most did, but some, well, they grew to become the flourishing garden you see here today. And one great thing about being a ghoul, we can eat practically anything. Mutated produce that will kill anyone else becomes gourmet for ghouls. It's kind of a funny story, but they raided my town, saw I was a ghoul, and better yet, how rough I was looking, and they offered to take me along with them. I was hesitant to run with a bunch of raiders, even with their promise of safety.
What it was like anymore.
It was Maddox who convinced me. Said they were a family. All ghouls, all looking out for each other. As long as they don't force me to start shooting people, I can live with that. Oh, not too much. Mostly farming and cooking. sharing when I could. Same things I'm doing here. Here's a lot nicer, though. More, peaceful. I couldn't ask for anything more. Nourishing life, harvesting it, consuming its rewards, and the cycle begins again. It reminds me of where everything comes from. Gives me appreciation for all the wonderful things we still have. For the fact that we're alive at all.
No hesitations.
My greatest goal is to bring joy to the people around me. If I can do that, and then they do the same, well, then it's almost like there were dozens of me. I'm not worried about any sort of legacy, though. Only the legacy of the Earth. If I can somehow manage to leave it better than I found it, oh, that's a victory. Well, yeah, I did. But those times aren't important anymore. There will always be people out there, troubled people, who are looking for some way to pass on how they feel. For some of those people, my condition gave them an excuse to target me. I was pretty isolated, to be honest, but I still found my peace. Always will. Not worth it to hold on to things like that. Sure. Yeah, I've been called that. Been told to fight back, stand up for myself. I don't know if it's weakness or strength, but that's just not who I am. It's not worth it. I'll take the blows and move on. Leave the fighting to someone like Asher. We need people like him just as much as we need people like me, don't you think? Take care of yourself. Nice of you to stop by.
Take care of our home like it's forever. It's not the happiest story, but it's a part of who we are. I'll start at the beginning. Valley Galleria, right here in Appalachia. A group of ghouls lived there openly. Others didn't like that so much. A hunter named Duncan McCann was planning to wipe us out. Lucy, who led the survivors there, decided to move everyone out before the attack. Duncan tracked them, of course. If you go to Dire Chemical, well, you'll see what happened. Me, Asher, and Elmira had broken off from the group. Instead of fleeing north to Dire, we went east. Covered our tracks well. The idea was to find a place we could start fresh, establish a new identity. One that people wouldn't mess with. You've heard about how we do things. Bingo. We had to intimidate people. And if they didn't know we were ghouls, even better. So we covered our faces with masks, swept through their camps or small settlements, and took what we needed to survive. We gained a reputation that way. People were afraid of us, left us alone, and gave us what we wanted. The truth was, we were weak. Small, untrained, ill-equipped. Because we acted fast and put on a good show, people thought we were far stronger than we were. Assumed there were more of us. Eventually, some hero types caught on. Decided it was time to hunt us down. Same old story. We were lucky to find this place. Unfortunately, not all of us made it here. We needed to save up enough resources to make our escape from the area, so we planned one final raid. It was supposed to stay quiet. In and out before anyone knew we were there. But at the time, we weren't used to working that way. The camp got alerted. Elmira decided to cause a distraction. She tore off her mask and ran in front of the spotlights. They thought she was feral. Bought us enough time to get out while they scanned the entrance for more of her kind. All we can do now is try to honor her sacrifice. Live on the way she would have wanted us to. Every day I fight is for her. And for all of us. I'll start at the beginning. A hunter named Duncan. Me, Ash. The idea was... Bingo. We had to intimidate, so we covered. People were, because we acted. Eventually. We were lucky. We needed to stay. It was supposed. The camp got him. Bought us enough to. All we can do. Every day nothing's more important than what we're doing here and now, but our past shape us, lead us to the present. I know mine did. Growing up, I was tossed from foster home to foster home. Never knew my parents. Never needed to. I just wanted to get out of my own. 18 rolled around. I could have done with a regular birthday candle, but I got a little more than that. One big mushroom cloud on the horizon. The Great War. I was out on the cliffside watching it, seeing the new world created right before my eyes, not knowing how it would change me. On the contrary, it was therapeutic. I had nothing. Nothing to go back to. Nothing to call my own. While everyone around me had homes, families, futures. The war wiped the slate clean. I could start my life on equal footing. All of us could.
This is home. But how long until it's taken from us?
Yeah, I get that. But I'm not gonna lie and pretend that I shed any tears for a world that never wanted me. The kicker is that it still doesn't want me. Doesn't want any of us. It took me a long time. But I finally realized it just doesn't matter what's fair or not. Because it is what it is, regardless. No amount of philosophizing about what should be makes that the reality. If you want something, you just have to take it yourself. That's what we're doing here. Carving out a piece of the world where we can be safe and free. You mean our raids? Like the one dear Leamon found himself in the middle of. We don't pretend to be saints. If we can avoid violence, we do. But if it's between our safety and theirs, we protect ourselves. I hope you can understand something as simple and necessary as that. And getting harder by the day. Everyone has different opinions on this or that. We have to get on the same page or everything will fall apart. They see ghouls living on the outside and get restless. Well, if they want to take the risk, I say let them. But don't involve the rest of us. I'll talk to you soon.
Can't wait for the smell.
Always nice to see. It is friendly, right? It's sometimes hard to tell what with the decomposition and all. Ah, not too bad. Sure beats being 6 feet under. Most folks are decent. No worse than the survivors on the surface. What I ain't used to is being stuck underground. I just ain't sure when the sun rises or sets anymore. No one else around here seems to care, neither. That Maddox character, pretty sure he don't sleep at all. I'm just floating around all restless. Been trying to make myself useful, but Miss Debbie has most everything covered as far as maintenance goes. Ah, no, what I... no one... what I... no one... I'm just... not one bit. Things are different, sure, but different don't mean better or worse. You just gotta look around, see where you found yourself, and keep on marching from there. Ain't nothing but possibilities out there.
I don't remember what it was like anymore.
Oh, doggone it. I sure have gone and embarrassed myself by yapping all about that. See, I thought I was done for. Well, I'm still dreaming, that's for sure. Folks around here, hot and cold. They act all standoffish. Next day they go and say they'll lay their life down for you, glaring all the way. I can't blame her, you know. They all got tough stories to tell and mixed up hearts besides. Even Miss Parthenia, chipper as she is. We get on best out of everybody like two pea plants growing in a field of corn. Real smart she is, too. Thanks for stopping by here. Come say hello again real soon.
Guess all this radiation's our protection now. Before they kill us all.
Any concerns? Questions? Abnormal growths? Frightening new power? Brilliantly! I wish I could say that. Unfortunately, the populace remains dubious of my medical expertise. They won't allow me to examine them unless there is an explicit issue that cannot resolve itself. I am left to study past data and form dubious conjectures. Which is great fun in itself, but progress is much slower than I would hope for when surrounded by so many able test subjects. My father was a general, stationed on site here at the silo. I was an adolescent bag of ailments. My health conditions kept me largely isolated and immobilized, and he was the only family I had, so I had an exception to stay here with him. Well, one day, the war happened, and everything went terribly, terribly wrong. There was a very loud noise, lots of distant panic in the other rooms, and then, well, I noticed it was very quiet. When I finally left my room, the place was empty. I guess everyone evacuated, or, well, I don't know. I was alone, like I had always been, taking care of myself, reading, learning, and now all of their military resources were at my disposal. Books, research documents, laboratory equipment. A whole new playground for knowledge. And most intriguingly, I found an assortment of chemicals ripe for experimentation. I soon found that one of these chemicals had fascinating effects on the human body. Regenerative effects. My analysis and experimentation with this chemical led to the highly functioning flesh chassis you see before you today. I ailed no longer. I was reborn! Fantastic, isn't it? I have only theories. Perhaps the loud noise I heard indicated the successful creation of a vortex, which sent the entire military staff hurtling through space and time, never to be seen again. But more likely, it was the nuclear warhead failing to launch, falling off its supports, and cracking open. Thus beginning the slow process of filling this entire place with increasingly deadly levels of radiation. Sufficient reason for a full-scale evacuation, I would think. As for my father, I'm not sure I can explain why he would leave me behind. Well, I could, but, in any case, it's not important now. Books have always been a better friend to me than anyone else. And it remains that way. Well, I could describe its molecular structure, but I suspect that's not what you're asking. Documentation on the substance was mysteriously lacking. As such, I'm not sure it even originated here. There were some scientists here, but as far as I can tell, not a full-scale research operation. In short, your hypothesis is as good as mine. You're welcome. There's a fascinating range of deterioration among them. Ghouls created naturally, if you can call it that, they tend to go through a more gradual process. Miss Vo has been a ghoul for the good part of her nascent life, and only just lost her first tooth. She was remarkably bent out of shape about it. Came to me in tears requesting an immediate implant. I think the operation went well for being my very first foray into the dental field. I reckon you reckon right. That is one of my goals, after all. Ghoul goal, you could call it. Better healthcare for all of ghoul kind. Oh, that makes me sound all kinds of benevolent, doesn't it? Oh, do you think they'll write books about my discoveries? Delving into ghoul physiology by Parthenia Blankenship. Oh, that does it! I'll be writing the book myself. There's a ghouls created. Miss Vo? She was... well, mostly everyone ignores me unless they need something. Every now and then, Asher will sit nearby and pretend to sharpen his knife. So, I'd say we're getting along. Okay.
This is our set. I trust you're well taken care of here. We don't talk about that place. You can see what's going on there, can't you? So don't make it harder for people than it already is. It keeps it sacred. To know that there's a place for you if things ever go bad. That brings comfort. But trying to reason out how or why when there is no reason to it only brings pain. I say this to you because I can tell you're working through it. But please, don't talk about it with the others. Let them be at peace.